everybody, this is Kelly. I'm the marketing manager here at Revive Naturopathic Medicine. I'm talking today with Dr. Derek Lawrence and the newest addition to our Revive team, Dr. Lila Lewenstein. We just wanted to get to know Dr. Lila today, so take it away, Dr. Derek and Dr. Lila.
All right. Hey, long time no video. Hi, Lila. We're all on the backside of this thing, shaking off the rust. It's been a minute since we did one of these round tables, but looking forward to it because, yeah, as Kelly said, brand new edition. And we're really looking forward to having you as part of the family. I think you're going to fit in like a dirty sock for a whole host of reasons, and I mean that in the kindest way possible. So today, really what I want to get out of this is an opportunity for our patient base and as well as any prospectives to kind of get an understanding of you as a doc, how you kind of came to this medicine, what excites you about it, and what you're kind of looking to really help as far as some of the ailments that are out there. But one thing I'm going to share is that I'm, as the owner of Revive, I'm really excited to have you for a host of reasons. I think you're a good person, but on top of that, we love the same TV shows, and this alone allows for for the people who are listening to this. Lila and I frequently have very similar catchphrases coming out of our mouths during visits when we're talking about cases, and it's. One could argue, Kelly, you probably would fit right alongside of that. So it's really nice to kind of have someone in our fold that I get, and that kind of gets my humor, and looking forward to having that kind of that fun, light energy around. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. On that note, why don't you share a little bit about yourself and how everybody finds naturopathic medicine a slightly different way. We're all kind of carved out of stone a little differently from our experiences and upbringings, etc. So why don't you share a little bit? And I think you're unique in this way as well. So why don't you share a little bit about how you came to understand, the fact that naturopathic medicine even exists, and then kind of what led you into saying this is for me.
First of all, thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'm not quite sure I've ever been compared to a dirty sock, but I love it. So I'm Lila. I am new to the Revive team and so happy to be here. I have a long history with naturopathic medicine and functional medicine.
Kind of too long, eh?
A little too long.
Yeah.
It started when I was 9. I knew something was off. I was tired. I was cold. I was gaining weight. My hair was falling out at 9.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's not supposed to happen, but it took years and going to doctor after doctor with my sweet mother. And it took, I'm not kidding, 15 doctors before one decided to test my thyroid, found out that I had wildly unmanaged Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Later, they discovered that I had a whole mess of gut issues, gut dysbiosis, leaky gut, parasites, candida overgrowth, you name it, I probably had it. Later also developed PCOS. So there was just a whole mess of things going on. And just by going through the conventional medical world and having that not work out so well for me, I just knew that it was kind of going to be my goal and my mission and my journey to try to help others out there who have similar stories to me.
Yeah.
So
and
that's kind of how I ended up here.
Yeah. And you're like living proof of how kind of complicated and messy sometimes cases can be, where it's not always just like one thing that's going on, and there are these layers, and like we know this, good docs know this, but then there's also kind of people like you that are really unique in the way of, like, you got to, fortunately or unfortunately, you know what I mean, like, experience those things, work through them, understand them from truly a boots on the ground type situation, right? And I mean, I'll be straight, like, I haven't had that type of experience. Like, I haven't had that type of health experience on this planet. Have I personally, like, do I get it? Do I understand it? Have I, like, learned enough from, academic sources and my own patients to understand that those things are on board? Absolutely. But there's a whole nother benefit that kind of comes with having walked in those shoes, and that that excites me for you being a part of our practice, because it's really unique.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. Like, if I want to if I want to recommend a stool test to a patient, I can be like, trust me, I've done at least a dozen of them.
Right.
I am no stranger to that. If I want to tell someone to cut out gluten for a little bit, I have like 15 years of experience. So I can kind of help. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise that I feel like I can help from, like, a personal perspective.
Right.
I know what it's like. So I'm right there with you.
So with that kind of introduction to, the approaches that we take, in healing people, because really at the end of the day, was a major component of your case a thyroid problem, or immune system problem? One could, really, at the end of the day, it's a mixture of those two. But you get to see how there's all these different little pieces that were integral in getting you truly well. So with that path, like, what was, give me like a highlight and give me like a low light. Like, what was, in all that work, like, what really stands out to you on those other ends of the spectrum that was like, this was a really hard piece, and while I'm on the other side of it, I'm glad I can help someone understand how I know how it feels to be in that situation. Like, what's like, not to highlight struggle, but like, when we're trying to change our health, it's work, right? And it's not always just like easy. So, what were some of the, low lights that you learned from, and then what were the other kind of pieces that you were, maybe a highlight that you were able to kind of access because of going through there?
So I think low light, I wouldn't necessarily even call it a low light, but is kind of really starting with the basics. Like, I didn't know how to cook. My parents didn't cook. I was told to make all of these dietary changes, and this was back in the early 2000s, where we didn't have like a YouTube video for everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lifestyle change. It's not just like, try this diet for 6 weeks. So I honestly wouldn't even consider it a low light, but it's a long process of just lifestyle changes. It's not just, you're going to have to be gluten-free and eat salmon for 6 weeks. Like, you're going to need to learn how to integrate these pieces into your life, and that it's not always going to be perfect, and you can't be hard on yourself when you want to go get frozen yogurt and have a margarita one night.
Right.
Maybe not that specific combo, but
was that what you turned to at 9 years old? Frozen yogurt and a margarita.
A margarita. Yeah.
The
Starting young.
You made a really good point there in that, I tell people all the time, like, I've been, especially when it comes to like food and some lifestyles, I've been weird since I've been kind of 14, 15, 13 years old.
No.
I've been odd for a while. It didn't just happen, right? It's a process of being weird, and it's not just this process that has this upward trajectory. There's these ebbs and flows, and we kind of learn along the way. But one of the things I think that as a whole, like all of the docs at our clinic, and I think you fit into this really well, is that we are good at helping people get comfortable in being weird. Like in those first like forays into, I recognize this is foreign, and here's how we can chew that off. I think that's something as a clinic, I think we do really well. And I think you're going to really kind of synergize with that same kind of piece of getting folks used to being a little weird.
Yeah. And I like, you say this all the time, but I like the idea that, it's okay to laugh in a doctor's appointment. Like it doesn't always need to be super serious. And that's kind of when I knew that it was going to be a good fit, is when I kind of sat in on one of your visits and I realized that like you're joking with your patients, and when you ask them how tired they are, you say, how butt ass tired are you? Like, I don't know many doctors who are describing fatigue in that way, but it keeps it light, and it keeps people interested because they're not being asked the same questions in the same way and going through the same routine. Like it's keeping people engaged.
Yeah. It's important because as you got to see, it's a journey and it's a process, right? So sometimes that's easier than others. And at the core of how we got to think is like, well, what makes our people tick? Like how do we keep people like engaged and motivated and moving forward? And sometimes that's some real tough love. Sometimes it's a kick in the ass. Sometimes it's a little bit of extra understanding, a hug or a joke, and they all serve their purpose. So, then let's wrap this up with, what excites you kind of clinically? Like, what kind of cases do you like, sitting in front of, from a therapeutic standpoint?
I definitely notice myself being drawn to, conditions and areas of health that I've been through personally.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's a lot of different areas. So
I was going to say, so what isn't on that list, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
But I have a deep passion for gut health. Women's health really excites me. Anything hormone endocrine related. So cortisol, adrenal, thyroid
PCOS,
health,
yeah.
PCOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And, luckily, or maybe unfortunately, like that's a lot. Those are a lot of the underserved, understood, or undertreated, conditions that are out there where they're just not being served as well as they can be, because, as we use you as an example, or your reality as an example, like there's so many different little pieces to it that make for truly thriving and success, and not just kind of hanging in there, or living. Yeah, I'm surviving. There's more to it than that, and it, as you got to see and live firsthand, looking at that kind of in a multifactorial approach is useful. So great. Well, let's. I don't want to flap our gums too much longer. Let's wrap this up. I'll say thank you. For folks who are looking to meet with Dr. Lila, we can do, you can request an appointment online on our website. You obviously can reach out to our clinic, and our front desk staff, Katie, Kelly, or Deborah, will be there to make sure that a pair of you connect. And, keep your eyes open, not only on our social, but on YouTube as well, for some further videos, not only from the clinic as a whole, but also Dr. Lila, about what she's really excited about seeing, because we're gonna shake off the rust and make a couple more of these. So thanks for taking a little bit of time today, Lila, and we will run this back soon.
Yeah, thank you.